Okay, so this is the MyPACE classroom and website introduction. It's talking about what to do with the MyPACE classroom and the MyPACE website. So to start, the MyPACE classroom looks just like the other one almost. Has the same things at the top. And it works pretty much the same. It has the stream page. We don't use this one very much. So like very few of your announcements will be on here, just a little bit of directions. Or if any new assignments get posted. So even though you're on MyPACE, keep going back into the other classroom too. That's where all the other announcements are going to be. You know, check that stream once in a while. But the main thing you're going to want to focus on is the classwork tab. And Unit 1, don't worry about this profile overview. It just is about what's in the unit. But basically, when you do MyPACE, it's a little bit different than the way we do the other part of the classroom assignment or pages. And this is split up into tasks. So MyPACE has 30 tasks you're going to complete. Unit 1 has the first 8, so 1 through 8. Just scroll this down. I'll make it a little bigger so you can see it easier. So it's 8 tasks in Unit 1. And so what you're going to do is very similar to what you did with the other classroom is start at the top, work your way down. Overview, don't worry about that. But then you're going to start with this bell ringer. And it starts with an assignment. So you click on this, view the assignment. Your screen will look like that. You're going to have a document. You open it up. You read and then answer the question on there. You just answer right on the sheet. And then when you're done, you close it. You don't need to put your name on it or anything if it's going to have your name on it when it creates the page for you. So just read this and then do the answer like either up here or the bottom, wherever the answer needs to be for the assignment. And then there's different assignments in here. So you do the assignment just like before. It's going to save automatically. Make sure it's saving by checking to make sure it says, say last edit seconds ago. So make sure you do that. And then after you're done, click mark as done like usual. Now yours, my screen doesn't show that, but yours will. So when you do any of the assignments in MyPACE or anywhere else, click mark as done. That's very important. And then you're going to come back and go back to the classwork page. Once that one's done, then you move down to this next one. Now these ones have some discussion pages. It's kind of basically a lot to read. So you want to read through all this. If it helps you to read it out loud or to take notes or to do whatever makes it so you can understand the material better, do that. And there's also a audio file at the bottom on some of these where the instructor, Cynthia in this case, read some of these out loud. So you can listen to that while you read it as well if you'd like, if that helps you. That's totally optional. There are some other things. There's a would you rather activity that you want to do. Double click on that, open it up, answer the questions. This one has some questions on it. You don't need to really answer those out loud or on an assignment or anything like that. Just again, they're rhetorical. Answer them to yourself. Then you're going to go back after you've read that one, and then do the next one. Presentation. I think that's the same presentation actually that's on the other one, but that's all right. You see it in 2 places. Not a big deal. You do this, read through that presentation, take notes on it, whatever you want to do to help you. Do the next activity, do the next one. And the bottom of each of these has a hyperlink to MyPACE. On task 1, for some reason, they set it up as a material. Like it has this where you don't click the assignment. The other ones are all set up as assignments. I'm not sure why they set them up that way, but on the ones that are assignments, just click on it, open it up. It's going to take you over to MyPACE, and then you will click mark as done, just like before. Just like you always do with everything else, any other assignment. So click mark is done when you get to that. And so you want to just work your way down. When you get to the hyperlink to MyPACE, you go to MyPACE. So that's going to take you over to here, to the MyPACE section. This is a fake student I made up. It's already done. But so yours will be a little different. It'll say, start task 1 or something on the front page when you go home. Mine's a little different because this one is completed. But you will have it'll say start task 1 or start task 6 or whatever task you're on. Usually it's at the bottom, I think. But anyway, just go through the tasks. So you can also get to the tasks by clicking on task. And then profile takes you to the first unit. And the units are called different names. They're given names on this page. So profiles unit 1, professions unit 2, pathways unit 3, programs unit 4, plan is unit 5. And each of these units has a section where you basically do all the work on here, and you do all the work on the other part as well, the classroom. And at the bottom, there's a meet with your instructor. And so each of the 5 units has a meet with your instructor, and you put down the day you met and what you talked about. And it'll be with me most of the time, or with Cynthia. And you talk about what you did and what you thought about in the unit. And then once that's done, your instructor will approve it, and then you move on to unit 2. But we're talking about task 1 right now, so that's jumping ahead. But so what you're going to do after you have finished task 1 over here, you're going to go over here to task 1 and click on task 1 and do the work over here on task 1 of MyPACE. Now this also has some extra things to help you out. It has a recap, which is a little bit more information. Some of it may be repeated. They also have these little Quizlet things, which are basically flashcards or other ways to learn the vocabulary terms. You can choose like what you want to answer with. If you want to study, there's audio available, and you can do that. You can choose the study modes if you want to do matching learning, flashcards, a test, that kind of thing. Excuse me. And so that's how that'll work. And then so you can go through all this. This recap stuff is good to do. The vocabulary terms are important for you to know. Excuse me. And there's also resources on these as well. And the resources are pretty similar actually to what's on the MyPACE page. So all these presentations and things, they're over here as well. So you can click on them here if you want, or over there. But click on them over in the classroom and do the work over there. But then there's also some extra things, like this has an optional handout, which is not on the other one. So you can do that. It also has presentation notes, so you can read through the notes for the slides if you would like. And that takes you to a page talking about each of the notes that go along with these PowerPoints. So that's important to read through those as well, so you know exactly what the PowerPoint was talking about. So that's what you want to do for that. So you want to do those the optional things if it helps you. They're, like I said, they're optional, but good to do. The presentation notes, I would definitely suggest reading through those. Those are helpful for sure. And then where it says task, that's where you type in your answers. So normally when you see this page, you're going to have empty blank spots, and you will be able to type in answers for these. And then you're going to type in answers for each of these questions. And when you get to the bottom, there's going to be 2 options. It won't say request to open task. It will say either save or complete. Now what save does is it saves your work. Obviously it means save, right? So that's kind of what it means. So it'll save your work. So if you're typing, what I would suggest you do is type a couple of answers, type in maybe 2 or 3 things, and then go to the bottom and click save. Because MyPACE does not save your work. It's not like Google Docs or the Google Classroom where it just saves everything for you automatically. These things are not saved at all. So until you press that save button. And sometimes if you leave MyPACE alone for a few minutes, like say you're working on something, you get distracted and you go, keep your cat from jumping out the window, or stop your brother from stabbing himself with a knife or something, or whatever is happening in your house, I don't know. And that's just what happens in my house. But you want to click save before you leave the page at all. Because if you leave the page and come back, chances are your work that you did will not be saved. Because MyPACE basically logs you out after a little while. I think it's maybe 30 minutes. I'm not sure the time exactly. But it does log you out after you don't use it for a little bit. And so you want to make sure click save. Click save anytime you're going to go away from it for even a minute, because that minute might turn into 10 minutes or 15, 20 minutes. And then next thing you know, you have to retype all the work you did. So always click on save. Clicking complete, think of that as You know, if you were doing an assignment in class and writing it out, and you go to turn that paper into your teacher, that's like what pressing complete does. So when you press complete, you can't make any more changes on it. It's done. You are allowed to go back and make changes if you request the instructor to reopen the task for you. Like here, I clicked request to reopen task. If I were to do that for you, then you'd be able to go back and make those changes. But you don't want to click complete until you know you're completely done with the assignment. Make sure you've checked for spelling, check for you know, that all your answers make sense for the questions. And once that's done, then click complete. Complete means it's done, and you're ready to move on to task 2. So once you're done with that, you're going to press complete, and then you're going to go to task 2. And so you go back to the Google Classroom, go to task 2, do the same thing as before, start at the top, work your way down, click on this one, this one, this one, this one, get to the bottom, and do the hyperlink to MyPACE again, and it's going to take you back to MyPACE. And then you're going to go to task 2 in MyPACE. And if you hit complete on task 1, it's going to take you to task 2 automatically. But I'll click over here on task 2. And again, there's the recap. So I would encourage you to go through that. Read, you know, vocabulary words and that kind of thing. Make sure you know what those things are talking about. Resources, presentation notes are good to read over. And then these, I think, are the same. If anything, it's optional. It would be good to look at. And then do the tasks. And you do the tasks over here and do, this is another quiz thing you can do to quiz yourself from the vocabulary. When you're done with that, you're going to fill in these answers. I want to mention something about longer answers on MyPACE. Sometimes in MyPACE, it asks you to fill in a box like this where you have a long answer. And what I would suggest you do for these is not type it in MyPACE until you're completely done. So go open up a Google Doc. So go to, you know, like docs.google.com, I think it is. It'll open a Google Doc. And open a new one, you know, do your work on there. Give it a name, like call it task 1 or something. Task 1 MyPACE, whatever you want to call it. Or task 2, whatever task it is. And type your work on here. And then once you're done with that, copy and paste it over to MyPACE. That way you make sure it's not going to get erased. Because MyPACE, like I said, will erase your stuff. I've had students when I was working with students in a classroom, they were working on doing things in MyPACE. I had one girl, she spent like an hour working on this maybe not quite an hour, but quite a while, working on her one of her goals. And she spent all this time typing it, making it perfect, you know, checked all the spelling. There was no errors. Everything made sense. I had helped her look at it and gone over it with her and made sure everything was perfect on it, and it was. She hit complete. And MyPACE wanted her to log in again. She went to log in, and guess what? It was all gone. So all that work she did that hour, it was just wasted. So don't do that. Don't be like that student and have your stuff wasted. When there's something where you're typing a lot, or it's going to take you more than 5-10 minutes, go open a Google Doc and do your work over there, and then copy and paste it over so that you have it, and then put it in MyPACE, and then press complete when you're done. Don't type in these boxes and expect it to be saved, because chances are it's not going to save it. And also, MyPACE, you may have noticed a spelling error here. MyPACE doesn't like highlight spelling errors or anything like that either, where Google Docs will. So it'll help you with your spelling, that kind of thing. So I would encourage you, put your answers in Google Docs, then copy and paste it over into MyPACE, and then hit complete. That way you're not going to have any risk of losing your things. If the power goes out on your laptop or the Chromebook or whatever, and you've been doing it in Google Docs and you gave it a name and saved it, because when you give something in Google Docs a name, it starts saving it automatically. When you do that and your computer shuts off or something happens, you're going to go back to it, it's going to be there. Not the case with MyPACE. So be careful with that. Don't type things in MyPACE, type them in. You can for smaller stuff, you know, if you're typing a few words. But if you're typing paragraphs or something longer, I would always encourage you to do it in MyPACE or over in this part first. And oftentimes, some of these things, these answers, will be things that you're going to answer over here in some of these. So you might be able to take an answer from something you did here. I don't think this one's an example of that, but some of the goals you can do that on for sure. You can take your, like, you can type your goal in the Google Classroom, and then you can copy and paste it over into MyPACE. So I would encourage you to do that every time, especially for the goals. You're going to get to those in task 15 and 15, 21, 24, 27, and 28. are the ones where you're typing goals. So on those especially, use Google Docs, but I would say anytime you're typing anything longer than a sentence or two, put it in a Google Doc. That way you're not going to have any risk of losing your things, because MyPACE will lose your stuff. It is kind of lame like that. I really like the things that are on it and the material. Everything's great about that. Just the way the website was set up is not the best. So anyway, Google Docs will be your friend while you're doing MyPACE. Always do your work there. So like I was saying, once you've done with task 2 and you type all this in, you're going to copy and paste this over, you're going to hit complete. Once you complete that, then you go back to the classroom page for MyPACE and do unit 3, task 3 I meant to say. Do task 3. And again, start at the top, work your way down, go to MyPACE, go to task 3, and it'll take you there automatically normally. But then you click on task 3, do the recap, watch the video, do the resources, and then watch the videos and anything that has that, and then do the task over here in MyPACE. And this one has something else you do with one of these things. Once you do that, you type in your answers here, and then again press complete at the end, and you're going to go back to here and do task 4, same thing. Let's go through, do task 4 over here in MyPACE, and you're going to do task 5 and go to MyPACE. You just click the hyperlink, and be sure when you click in these hyperlinks, there's going to be a, like I mentioned before, a button for mark as done. So when you do that, click mark as done, and then it'll mark it done on our sheet that Cynthia and I can see. So be sure to click mark as done when you do those. Or anything else. There's a few things in here where the things aren't here because there are certain things in MyPACE where it was transferred over from being a in-classroom program to being an online program. There are a couple things that got kind of messed up in that transition. So if you have any questions about anything, please ask about what you're supposed to do. But basically, do whatever you can. Hit mark as done whenever you complete an assignment. And then when you're done with that, go to MyPACE. So you're going back and forth all the time. So just to recap really fast, task 1 in the Google Classroom, always do that first. Then go to task 1 in MyPACE and do task 1 in MyPACE. Then do the recap, do the resources. Those things are there to help you. And then go back to task 2. Do task 2. Do task 2 in MyPACE. So on and so forth, going back and forth all the way through till you finish. Once you're done, then you need to contact your instructor and let me or Cynthia know that you have finished that unit. And then you do the meet with your instructor. And once you've done that, then I have to approve it. And then we also put you into the next classroom page for MyPACE Unit 2 is where you would go next after that. And you go all the way through till you get through with all 5 units. And then you will be done with MyPACE. At that point, you'll be done with CPP, and then you'll be ready to move on to start your other classes and other things. So that is MyPACE in a nutshell. If you have any questions, of course, always meet me on Google Meet. I'm there all the time, 8 to 5 almost, most days. Or if you have any questions, you can always email or give me a phone call, anything like that. I'm here to help you in any way I can. So, always ask questions and get help if you need it for anything else that you might be doing. So thank you very much for your time, and hope this video was helpful to you. Have a good day. Stop sharing, then I have to go over here and stop recording.